It is a great honor for me to be here on behalf of ECPR and introduce the recipient of the 2024 Jean Blondel PhD Prize. Since its inception in 2003, so 2 decades ago, this award has celebrated outstanding doctoral research in politics, broadly defined, so including international relations, political theory, and public administration. And each year we recognize a dissertation that stands out not only for its scholarly rigor, but also for the potential to make a significant impact in the discipline. The Jean Blondel PhD Prize is highly competitive. And as someone who has been a part of the jury for my 3rd year, I can say it gets more and more competitive. And it is awarded to a dissertation that meets the highest academic standards and shows promise into a published monograph. The prize symbolizes excellence in political science, highlighting innovative work that bridges theoretical and empirical domains and advances our understanding of the pressing political questions of our time. This year, our jury comprised of a distinguished panel of experts, including Professor Silja Hausermann from the University of Zurich, Dr. Verena Wisthaler from EURAG Research, and Professor Fernando Casal-Bertoa from Nottingham University. And now, it is with great pleasure that I announce this year's winner, Dr. Lukas Schmid, for his remarkable dissertation, 3 essays on the legitimate authority of immigration control. Rather than focusing solely on the justice of immigration policies, Dr. Schmid challenges us to consider their legitimacy. His work questions not just whether states have the moral right to regulate immigration, but probes more deeply into whether such control is actually justified in a way that commands authority and justifies either compliance or non-interference by societal actors and migrants alike. This shift, and this is what as a jury we particularly highlighted in the laudation, to legitimacy over justice allows him to engage in an imminent critique of immigration control using the very standards that support the practice to uncover its inconsistencies and limitations. The jury was particularly impressed by the depth and originality of Dr. Schmid's argumentation and the methodological rigor with which he pursued his ideas. His works, we believe, challenges our fundamental understanding of state authority and stands as a valuable resource, not only for scholars, but as we believe, also for policymakers who navigate the ethical challenges inherent in immigration control. At this point, I'm delighted to invite first Dr. Schmid's supervisor, Professor Andrea Sangiovanni, to share a few words on his work and contributions.
I'm delighted to be here to talk to you about Lukas's fantastic dissertation, 3 essays on the legitimate authority of immigration control. So if you look at the literature on the ethics of migration to which Lukas contributes, it's overwhelmingly dominated by people who discuss the justice of such borders, whether, for example, there ought to be open borders. So where justice asks us to think about things like access to opportunities, and in this case, global access to opportunities, Lukas encourages to shift our focus. And instead, we should be thinking about legitimacy. So where we talk about justice, we talk about resources and opportunities. Where we talk about legitimacy, we talk about power, authority, and control. And so here Lukas says, by what right do states have to control the lives of immigrants? And he encourages us to think about these questions in 3 big areas of research. One is on the very idea of sovereignty, of democratic sovereignty. The second one is on the relationships between the global north, as it were, ex-colonizing states, and the global south, many of which were previous colonies. And the third context in which Lukas encourages us to think more deeply about these questions is on the legitimacy, in this case, of externalization agreements, which we're all familiar with. And so I've known Lukas for the past 3 years as his dissertation supervisor at the European University Institute. And I look so much forward to seeing what else Lukas has in store for us. And this, for sure, will be a fantastic monograph, which will encourage us to rethink the way we approach immigration. So congratulations, Lukas. I'm delighted that you've received this award this year. It's fully deserved, and I had no doubt that you would have this success and many others.
Thank you very much, Hana and Andrea, for these very generous words. I'm extremely grateful to Andrea and the others at UI for having nominated me, and to the jury for having selected my thesis among what was surely a very impressive field of competitors. I did not expect to win at all. I'm just glad and pleased that the jury saw so much merit in my thesis. I was especially excited to hear the news of winning because the Jean Blondel Prize is awarded to work in politics, broadly speaking, not just in political theory. And if I understand correctly, my thesis might be the first thesis focused on developing a normative line of argument to win this prize. Yeah, my work in the thesis and more generally is very much motivated also by the ambition to soften divides between normative and empirical work in the study of political phenomena. And so I'm especially pleased that the thesis finds recognition among scholars who are engaged in empirical research in political science. And I hope that the thesis, by incorporating empirical evidence into the development of normative argument, provides some new insights about the legitimacy of state migration control that can be of interest to political theorists and empirical political scientists alike. Now, this ambition is very much also present in the main project I'm currently pursuing in the context of my postdoctoral fellowship, where I'm using parts of the thesis to write a more extensive and theoretically integrated book about the question of legitimate authority in state migration control. In a way, the book project goes beyond the thesis by asking the more theoretically demanding question, what exactly it is that could, in principle, legitimize the authority that states use to control migration and exclude migrants. By developing additional case studies beyond those used in the thesis to argue that that principally compelling legitimation story is consistently undermined by the way states, including liberal democracies, actually conduct themselves when they engage in migration control. And by also using insights from historiography as well as the empirical social sciences to try to investigate the structural features of governance that appear to produce such lasting divergence between liberal democratic aspirations on the one hand and the conduct of liberal democracies on the other. So thanks very much once again for this prize, which I take to be an affirmation of critical and empirically sensitive work in normative political theory. I'm trying my best to continue and expand on the work this prize was given for, and I hope that in only a few years' time, you can read my book-length account of how even the migration control regimes of liberal democracies generally fail to have legitimate authority, why that's the case, and what the implications of that might be. Thank you.
So thank you all. And to conclude, I would like to express once again, on behalf of the ECPR, our sincere admiration for the talent, perseverance, and dedication that has led you, Lukas, to this achievement. Your work inspires us to think critically and deeply about state authority and ethics of admiration in this world. And we do look forward to the contributions of your research, including to your forthcoming book. Thank you and congratulations once again to Dr. Lukas Schmid.